everybody? Welcome back to the BlitzCity Podcast. I'm your host, Kobe Orr, and happy Thanksgiving to everybody watching. Whether you are upstairs putting on a nice outfit to come downstairs and flex on the rest of your family members in, whether you are in the kitchen slaving away at that stove trying to make sure the Thanksgiving dinner is done on time, or whether you're already downstairs or in the yard with all the comebacks in the world for your family members that you don't particularly get along with. This video and a host of other videos today is for you to watch. Guys, I've been looking in the transfer portal because it has been jumping as of recently, but I've been looking in the transfer portal at some players trying to see who's the most valuable prospect for these HBCU schools. And I came away with a few of them. Some of them are coming from other HBCUs. Some of them are coming from PWIs. But I'm going to give you a list of guys who I think can be very valuable to your team out of this transfer portal and who HBCU should be targeting if they haven't already. First up, we got Chandler Martin, linebacker from ETSU. Now, Chandler Martin is a guy who I immediately loved when watching his tape. He had 99 tackles, 9.5 tackles for loss, 3.5 sacks, 4 pass breakups, which means he's really good in coverage, or at least decent in coverage, and he has a defensive player of the week. Now, with Chandler, he can cover sideline to sideline, right? Which means he's very athletic in that aspect. He has good enough speed to do so. When I was looking at when I was thinking about, okay, what school does he fit? A couple schools came up. FAMU, you guys are looking for a linebacker. I've heard you've been in talks with BJ Davis. We'll get into that in another video. Alabama State, I don't know if Bubba is a senior, but I'm pretty sure he is. He's an upperclassman. You are going to be looking for a linebacker. You should definitely try him out. Tennessee State, Eddie George is a really good recruiter. Tennessee State is on the right path into becoming a great football program. The biggest fit to me is Jackson State, and that's no bias intended. And here's why. You're losing Aubrey Miller. He's a senior. He's going on to the Senior Bowl to the NFL. You're losing him. I don't doubt that you have somebody on that bench that can take over Aubrey's role. But when you look at Chandler Martin, he didn't have to wait behind anybody. He's established. He's a starter. He's a veteran. He knows how to come in and play ball. This kid is very productive. He plays like his hair is on fire. You know, Aubrey's strength was run stopping. It wasn't particularly in the past, even though he's gotten better at that. This kid can do both. He's a little bit of a hybrid. He's very athletic. Next up, Assius Guthrie. I was the first guy to introduce y'all to Assius Guthrie. I told y'all he was one of the best safeties in HBCU football and FCS football. Nobody really believed me during that first interview. It took a little bit of me bringing him back on the channel for y'all to see who he is. But now y'all know Assius Guthrie is like that. Now, Assius finally got his offer from Jackson State. Just in case Jackson State fans were wondering. He finally got his offer from Jackson State yesterday. Assius Guthrie is a hybrid safety. I mean, he can cover the run, but I mean, my God, is that man a ball hog. Listen, 51 total tackles, 4 tackles for loss, 9 pass breakups, 5 interceptions, and 2 touchdowns, 2 defensive touchdowns. He's first team all-conference. He has a slew of accolades. And he was also a first-team freshman All-American. As a matter of fact, he's been recognized as one of the top returning safeties who are draft eligible after 1 full season of college football. Now, the fits that I see for him, number one, Jackson State. They just offered him John Huggins going to the draft. You're going to need to replace him. Isaiah Bowden is leaving. You're going to be a little thin at defensive back. With him, Travis, and Nugget, where exactly are you going to throw the ball on that field? With Tavion Beasley stepping up in that slot next year, where are you going to throw the ball if Assius Guthrie is a part of that secondary? Also, you're losing Gregory Great as well because he is a senior. So, yes, you need a safety to go alongside Cam and Shiloh. South Carolina State, you need somebody to pair up with Zion Keith. You've offered him as soon as he announced his intention to enter the transfer portal because you've played against him, so you know just how good he is. Buddy Pugh has a lot of young talent who, they couldn't get it done this year for that reason. They have a lot of young talent. With Assius and another year under those young kids' belt, I think he could be the spark that they need for South Carolina State. And last but not least, Alcorn. You're losing KJ Kindler. He's a senior. You got to replace him with somebody, okay? You were very close to being in the SWAC championship this year, although I think you just missed out. Why not? Why not go after Assius Guthrie? After Assius Guthrie, We got Michael Salahuddin from North Carolina A&T, the safety, another safety. Now, I saw Michael, I think it was just by chance, like it was random. And then I looked into him. He's very talented, and he's a very good athlete. Let me tell you why. Michael, coming out of high school, was a 4-star prospect, very highly talented, but he was a running back. He committed to Pitt, left Pitt, went to North Carolina A&T, didn't even stay at running back. He moved to safety, which I think he made that switch last year. Now, although his stats were not eye-popping because he's played running back his entire life in only increments of the safety position, when you watch him play, the impact that he has, unbelievable. The athleticism that he plays with, unbelievable. This man really covers a lot of ground very, very quickly. Okay, he plays sideline to sideline. And his speed and his tackling ability, being a running back, man, when he learns that position and get it down pat, I think he's going to be amazing. And what better school to go to learn that than South Carolina State, where they produce DBs and put them in the NFL. They've got a couple in the NFL already. He's a rival. He goes to North Carolina A&T. I get it. He went to North Carolina A&T. I get it. But hey, you're no longer with them. Consider South Carolina State. They know how to develop talent. They can get you where you want to go. Delaware State, Assius Guthrie in the portal. Ramel Harris-Freeman, I think he is an upperclassman now. He's probably a senior and he's leaving. You need a defensive back to go alongside Nasir Clark on the other side of that corner position. Even though he's not a corner, you just need another defensive back. You need him. Alcorn, again, KJ Kinsler is gone. Unlike Assius Guthrie, who I'm a very big fan of, that's my dog, I think Michael is more like KJ Kinsler than Assius Guthrie is. I think he's a better fit for that defense because of his athletic ability. Him and KJ Kinsler are just more alike than Assius Guthrie and KJ Kinsler. So I think you should pursue both of them, but if you cannot get Assius, you should pursue Michael. And last but not least, Grambling. I mean, let's be real. Grambling is they're finally starting to trend in the right direction, but I mean, they could use him. Next up, man, we got Brevin Randall, linebacker from Stephen F. Austin. He's 5'11", and he's 227 pounds. Don't let that 5'11" size fool you, because number one, it's only an inch away from 6 feet. It's not a big deal to me. If you can play, you can play. 5'11", it's not horrible. It's not horrible. He's a sophomore. One thing that sticks out about this kid, production. He's been playing since he was a freshman. As a matter of fact, in his freshman year, he played in 11 games, 39 tackles, 1.5 tackles for loss. That was as a freshman, right? Decent production as a freshman. In 2020, the COVID season, got an extra year of eligibility off that. 10 games played, led the team in solo tackles at 38. 2 interceptions, 68 total tackles. Follows it up in the 2021 season, his sophomore year. Plays in 12 games, has the second most tackles on the team at 63. 40 of those 63 tackles were solo tackles. He also had a sack. He also had a forced fumble. This man can play the pass so well. He can really play in coverage so well. On top of that, you know how great he is in the run because you're seeing it right now in this highlight tape. There isn't a school in the HBCU right now that I don't think couldn't use Brevin Randall. This kid is phenomenal. Phenomenal talent. Last but not least, BJ Davis of South Carolina State. It hurts my heart that BJ Davis, as a grad senior, is choosing to spend his last year at a different school because, I'm such a big fan of him. And as a Bulldog fan, you just don't want to see him leave. But I understand it. I truly do understand it. And I wish nothing but the best for him wherever he chooses to end up. Now, I could give you a list of schools that I see him playing at, but I've been getting word that FAMU has been on him heavy. FAMU is on BJ Davis heavy. As a matter of fact, I think Coach Willie Simmons, has actually followed him on Twitter. They're going all in on BJ because they saw what he's done. Versus them, he had 2 interceptions when they were leading 20-7, I believe. He had 2 back-to-back interceptions against Jeremy Musa and FAMU to help bring South Carolina State back and almost win that game. Willie witnessed that firsthand. So I can see why he wants BJ Davis on his side, because he would be scary. He would be scary. With that being said, these are all the players that I think so far are very valuable prospects who should be hit up by these HBCUs. Some of them already have been. Some of them should be. You guys let me know what you think down below in the comment section. With that being said, you're watching the BlitzCity Podcast. I'm your host, Kobe Orr. Happy holidays once again. I'm out. Peace.